Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a eLocker install on a patrol. Harris, one of my mates, we're going to be doing his eLocker. And yeah, I'll show you guys how to do it along the way. The GQ is off the road at the moment, just getting a few last finishing touches for the engineering for it. I had to add like a couple of reflectors and the hoops on my bull bar. They weren't a fan of those, so I cut those off. Made all the bar work removable. But yeah, so that's off the road at the moment. So yeah, let's go and get this locker in anyway. So we're here on Jonesy's hoist. Thanks very much, Jonesy. The boys have pretty much already undone everything before I got here, but you just undo these 6 bolts around each axle and then undo everything around the pinion, take off the tail shaft. I usually just leave the brake calipers sitting on the rotor and then you can slide the axles out a bit, but I mean it doesn't really matter on a hoist because you can get to everything easily, I guess. But yeah, we'll lift this center out. Get this carrier out pretty much. I always do like a center pop on each side so that you know which side retainer comes off. Center pop one side so you know that all that goes on that side. Alright, so the new kit comes with new carrier bearing. All this can just go with this old LSD, and all we need to grab is the crown wheel pretty much. Jonesy's teasing me because before I wanted to spend money on my patrol, I tried shimming up my LSD. And then I went to Total Tools and tried to do a 90-degree turn in the car park, and I just about lifted a wheel with how much lock it had. So this is what comes in the kit: the wiring loom and the eLocker. Alrighty, we'll go and heat up some carrier bearings, and then they'll just slip straight over this. Yeah, once they come out of the oven, they just slip straight on. Dead set, don't even need to press them. Alright, those bearings are cooled down now, so we're going to get the crown wheel onto this. So we just want to nip these up until the crown wheel is hard against this. And then I go and take each one out and put Loctite on it. The only reason you don't put Loctite on straight away is because when this pulls home, you can get Loctite sandwiched between the locker and the crown wheel, and it can give you a run out, and so you'll get different backlash as you move your way around the crown wheel. We have a problem. Sometimes when you buy an eLocker, they supply washers. I'm hitting end of thread here. When I bought mine from TJM, they included washers. We'll just have to go and get some. But yeah, they gave them to me just in case my diff was one of these ones, and I'm just remembering it now. Yeah, right. Some rears have like either a thinner flange here or shorter bolts. It's just the way some were. And so when you go to this flange, it's a lot thinner than this. And so these get home. So like...
They're all the same though, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I reckon we'll probably go to Bunnings, get some lunch and some washers, and then we'll come back to it. We got some washers, they'll be fine, they're just like spring washers, and I'm just about to Loctite these and do them up to spec. just going to drop the carrier in there just roughly so I can see where to drill the hole. So we're just sitting the locker in there roughly just to see where this wire wants to go. I reckon I'm going to send it straight through here. Make sure that when you put the wire through, you're not impeding one of these studs here, because then you'll hate yourself when you go and put the nut on the stud. So we'll go bang between these two here. I believe it's 11.5. Now we've got to try and push this wire grommet through the housing, and every single one of them I've had trouble with. So we'll see how we go. A little bit of slaz on the plug, and it'd be really, really nice if this went through first go. We're king of the world. That's probably the hardest bit of putting an eLocker in my opinion. Actually, the second shittest thing is the stupid plugs they include. Do you agree?
Agree.
We're just going to put the carrier caps back on, and so from earlier there's one with a center pop in it that goes on this side. Glad no one saw that. So on the carrier side, you've got to put this retainer in, which stops the magnet from spinning around with the diff. And that obviously holds with these two little teeth here. The last thing to set up in this is the backlash, which is basically what you can hear there. It's the lash between the crown wheel and the pinion, and you basically want that set to 0.15 to 0.20, I think. And so yeah, we've got to set up the dial gauge, and I've got a little adapter that I made up to do that. Jonesy doesn't have one of these because I'm better than him. And so you're measuring the distance between the crown wheel and the pinion. And so if the backlash is too high, you basically need to do this one up to scoot the diff over. And if it's too low, you need to do up the other one to get it to scoot that way. So this is just a tool I made. It's getting closer now, so that's about 18. And then it's just a balancing act of loosening one, doing it up, loosening another, doing it up until you're where you need to be. So right there is 16, about 16. So we'll start getting this preload snug up and we'll see where it lands. It's about 16. And the preload feels pretty good. I'll lift the diff back up off the pinion so we can feel how that preload is. So yeah, this is pretty good. I just lifted the pinion up a bit, and that has a good bit of backlash in it, and the preload feels really good. The other thing too you'd check is run out, but I know it's going to be fine, so you can nail me in the comments for that if you want. But yeah, it all feels good. So all we got to do now is put on the locking tabs that hold these bearing nuts, the carrier bearing nuts. So we'll put those on now, and then it can go back in the car. That's a diff build. So we'll be able to throw it back in the car now. Make sure to put the hole between two studs, because otherwise if you put it over here, you'll quickly hate yourself when you go to tighten those up. doing a few jobs while he was doing it. So like Josh is currently notching the cross member for the tail shaft so it can flex better. And we're also doing the rear output seal on the transfer and new handbrake shoes. So Harris has chucked in this plug here and ran all the wires and cable tied it up, and we just tested it with a battery and it works. So now we've chucked the axles in, as you saw. Harris is just chucking the tyres on now and we'll finish doing the wiring. What was that sound?
You remember me out there pumping the shit into my diff before Cape? It was like 2 hours.
So that's pretty much it anyway. We've just finished putting the locker in. The guys are just doing the final touches on the wiring, and then we'll make sure it works, test it out on the forklift. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.